Hello, I'm Dawn Campbell, Director of the IAPC&M, and I'm here today with Isla, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce her surname, but I've got it written down, so well, maybe I should give it a go. Baliszewska. How is that, Isla?
Pretty good, Dawn. Pretty good.
Okay, thank you. So Isla is Coach of the Month, and as usual, these sessions are really about you and not about the IAPC&M. So let's just dive straight in and tell us a little bit about yourself, because I know that you're a coach, a mentor, a training provider, and you profile and have your own business. So how did you get to this point, please?
Well, and like most things, it was a choice, but sort of basically stimulated by an accident. So I was working, my background has basically been mostly in finance and IT, going way back. And I accidentally was given a coaching course to use with some salespeople, and thought it was this is going back quite a while, and thought, oh, I like this. I can work with this. And I liked it so much, I thought, I think I'm going to do some training in it. And so I moved into being a coach. And since then, it's just been a sort of snowball, really. The whole world is opened up to the concept of coaching and mentoring. And when I was starting, you said coach, and people thought, oh, sports coach. Yeah. And now you go into a room somewhere and you'll find that sort of 50% of the people are doing coaching or mentoring in some form. And along the line, I thought it's quite difficult when you're running your own business, which I've always done, constantly having that motivation and wanting to carry on. But, you want people around you. So I got a group together, and the current Smart Coaching and Training, which is my business, is a group of associates all working as coaches, mentors, trainers, and offering profiling. And we're based in the UK. We have a presence in the Middle East and a presence in Spain, not far from where you are, I think.
Yeah, that's right. So we know David at least is enjoying good weather.
Yeah, he is. He's having some fun, I think.
Yeah. So how many's in your team then, Isla?
It's fluent, because I remember once when I set up the business as it is in its current entity, I was having some mentoring from somebody at the Association of Business Mentors, who's a friend of mine and a very good mentor, and she said it's very, very hard getting people to stay. It's very hard if you're not employed. It's not being an employer. It's equally difficult being the person who's pulling together disparate groups, because everybody's got different interests. So we kind of work with the core of there are about five in the Middle East, stroke North Africa, stroke Spain, and there are 4 of us based in the UK. And when we need to supplement, if we've got a gap in our skill set, then we've got a bigger pool of people that we will be in touch with.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense. I mean, certainly I talk to a lot of practitioners who are just starting out, and they aspire to achieve what you've achieved, being your own boss, having a company, having associates, and presumably enjoying the good life and a good work-life balance as well. So what do you think was the one thing that really catapulted you to where you are today?
I think it was actually probably meeting my character David, who's the one who's sort of globetrotting. And we had a conversation at a business networking event, and I trained as a personal development coach and then a business coach, and he said to me, we were in a business meeting, and he said to me, oh, well, I'm a life coach. And at the time, life coaching had a little bit of people were sort of iffy about it. And I said, oh, that's interesting. Why? And he said, well, because whatever you do and whoever you work with, whether you're working with a senior executive or you're working with somebody who's on the sort of bottom rung of a team, you're basically coaching them in their lives. And for some reason that engaged with me, and I just thought, yeah, that's really good. And it's propelled me forward. So I've always been mindful of the fact that it is people you're working with, and it's all as every coach will say, the relationships that you build. And I've got some fabulous relationships with the people I work with.
And quite often you find when you're coaching somebody that what's going on in their life, whether it's poor health or not sleeping well or whatever, is also reflected in the business, and vice versa in the business. If things are going down for whatever reason, figures aren't great, or there's a communication problem with the management team, it reflects in their personal life because they're stressed, etc. So the two aren't actually independent of each other, are they?
No, not at all. And a lot of what I around mindset, because the initial conversation that you have with somebody, you can pick up all the information you need about where they are in their work, where they are in their abilities, skills, and so on. But it's delving below that, and it's discovering a lot more about where they are mentally in their workplace. So, you know, working with people on career progression, you're to the idea of what you're offering, but they've got a whole load of other stuff going on, which is probably getting in the way. So it's useful to be mindful of that. And the whole way the brain works fascinates me. I'm always dipping in and out of books at quite a low level, because I've got some very complicated books, some very neurological books, but I have to have them in one hand and a dictionary in the other.
Yeah.
But it's just a wonderful area.
So what's your bedtime reading at the moment then?
Well, actually, I've gone back to novels, because I think one of the issues which I have, and I'm sure other people share it, when you're working on your own and you're in a business like ours where you need to be constantly developing and you want to be seeing what's going on in your marketplace and your professional development areas, is that you kind of, or I'm suffering at the moment, you kind of get overload. So one of the things that I've started to introduce to myself at the moment is bedtime reading. Has nothing to do with improving my mind.
Very
It might do it. It might do it coincidentally, but actually, I want something just enjoyable.
Yeah.
So I'm reading a novel by Amor Towles, which is very good.
Okay, good for you. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think a lot of coaches, mentors, consultants, supervisors, they're kind of perpetual students, because particularly the ones who are professionally trained, professionally accredited, they need to be at the top of their game. And so there is that amount of pressure always to know what's going on in the market. So to have some switch off time is really important. So what else do you do for fun and to make sure you've got that work-life balance?
I have a great love of Argentine tango, which is not to say I'm particularly good at it, but I've been doing it for long enough to be really, really taken with it. It's just brilliant on many levels. When I did I did a master's practitioner at NLP, and I did my modelling project on Argentine tango, which is great because I was talking to different teachers about it. So I'm doing that. I travel as much as I can. I aspire to doing more travel, but being in one place for longer. I went to India last year, which was fantastic. And I'm also learning Spanish, because I thought I need to be able to, if I want to spend more time in Spain, which is one of my goals, and I would like to be able to converse properly in the language.
That's very admirable. There's thousands of us Brits here on the Costa del Sol and Costa Blanca, and don't speak very good Spanish, because everybody speaks English, and all the sort of hospitality staff want to practice their English on you, so it makes us very lazy. So I admire your enthusiasm for the Spanish language.
Well, I've got a very good Spanish teacher who won't let you get with anything. So we do a lot of conversation, but like all things, it's practice makes perfect. I haven't done enough practice, so it's a slow but pleasant learning.
Yeah. So what does 2019 and beyond hold for you and your business?
Well, we're very fortunate in that we sort of crashed into the new year with a nice couple of training programs that we're running in the early part of the year. The things I actually love is creating those programs, and it's a client who we've worked with before, but it's a different level of program that they want. So we've done some bespoke work for them. So that's great. And my aspirations, I suppose, for the year are just to carry on doing business that we like doing. I have a lovely creative relationship with one of my main associates, who is I would say she's probably our lead coach in terms of doing the executive coaching sort of stuff. But I'm just really looking forward to a year which is going to be different and have lots of different things in it. So lovely combination of the training and the mentoring and the coaching, and hopefully extending our profiling, which is, we've also gone into the new year with some inquiries from the States, which we haven't had before, so that's quite nice.
Oh, well done. So, breaking new ground.
Yeah, looking forward to different things.
So how do you go about finding a coach or a mentor when the business need arises, Isla?
Well, we've sort of I've spoken to enough people over the years. We've got relationships that are not necessarily full on, but we've got enough information about the people. So I will meet somebody, say, and a lot of it is very much a history thing. I do still believe that you can tell a lot in the first session that you have with somebody when you meet somebody and they express an interest in what you're doing and, you know, be involved in a way. And so we've got a nice list, if you like, of people.
A nice keep in mind list.
We're not an agency at all. And it's very much a reciprocal thing. So if people are wanting to work with us and we want to work with them, it literally is. It's very two-way. It's very much a sharing experience. Just as a little anecdote, when I started this, I got a group of coaches together, and there's nothing as fun and as tricky as a room full of coaches working how they're going to do business. It just is. I mean, you can imagine, can't you?
Yeah.
There's a great deal of self-restraint that has to go on. Everybody's bursting with ideas, but they're all very much doing it in a kind of coaching capacity. That was a fun session. So we're fortunate to have quite a few people who come to us with a particular area that their expertise in. For instance, we've got a chap who is very good in diversity. He's not an associate as such, but we've got a good enough relationship, and there is that thing about trust, because if I'm putting in for some work and I'm pulling people into work with me, it's my name on them. You know, I'm the bottom line. I'm the one who's got to be responsible. So it's quite due diligence that has to go on in the background as well. So there's all the stuff around insurance and accreditations and so on. You know.
And how important is accreditation to you, your team, and your clients then, Isla?
It's becoming much more so, because I had a conversation yesterday with somebody, actually, who's a lawyer who does some training, and he said that the interesting thing now is that there is so much that people want you to do, but it's very difficult to sort of get a platform of, right, okay, if you're going to become a doctor, there are various obvious things that you do to become a doctor, and there are expectations of your people who come to you that you will have these. Coaching is one of those professions where it's sort of organically grown in different areas, and certainly people I talk to, and if we submit for work through the public sector, there are very different criteria. People expect you to be able to show that you have people who are accredited, they're properly insured, they're properly doing CPD supervision and all that stuff. And it's a lot for any one person to do, but I do think it's important, and I think it shows that you're basically putting your money where your mouth is in terms of your commitment to it. Because it's all very well to say, yeah, I'm a coach because I'm a business coach because I've been running a business for years and I know what running a business is all about. You may well know what it's about, and you may be a great coach, but people would like to feel comfortable in knowing that you've actually got some way you can show that and evidence it to them. And I think the other side of that is that we might be slightly in danger of going too far down the line. So instead of, like, you get a degree which shows that you've done 4 years work on what, coaches now have to keep running to catch up almost. So it's a delicate balance, I think. It's a tricky one.
It is. And creating that all important differentiator is key to helping clients identify you as best in class. Particularly, say, the UK with 130,000 people calling themselves coaches. How does the public protect themselves? The same as they would if they were hiring or going private for surgery, or hiring a driving instructor or an accountant or a solicitor. There is this sort of assumption that, well, of course you're accredited, aren't you? No. You're professionally trained, aren't you? No. Not always. Some people are experienced through their jobs, a bit like you. I went on a training course and thought, oh, that's coaching. That's what I've been doing with my team for years, and then gradually moved into coaching. But I still went down the route of getting professionally trained, getting accredited, etc., to reassure clients that I was doing my absolute best, and I was supported by a body as well. And I'm certainly finding every day since the new year started, somebody has emailed us at the IAPC&M, I want an accredited training course, or I want an accredited practitioner, or I want an accredited supervisor. every single day this year. So the work that we're doing with educating the public is paying off, just as they
I
would
think
with
that's
any other
brilliant.
industry. Yeah,
That's excellent, because it
it
means
is.
that people have that reassurance, and then they can make a choice
Yes.
knowing that there's a good foundation which their choice is made on. So
Yeah.
after that, you don't have to go through all the hoops. You know that it's a case of just, do I get on with this person? Do I like this person? Are we going to have a relationship? And as an addendum to what you were saying, I think mentoring's quite a way behind coaching in that respect, other than obviously with things like the ILM. But people have gone straight into being mentors because they've got all the, a huge plethora of experience and wealth of industry knowledge and so on, which gives them a lot of useful tools to be a mentor. However, they haven't got any kind of, they've not done a course in mentoring or a diploma or anything like that, because it hasn't been around. So it's quite nice that that's now also beginning to catch up with coaching. And the IAPC&M has been really good with that, because you've run the two as options. So people either go for one if they feel that they're more like a mentor. That's great, but it's balanced, which is wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
You.
Thank you very much. So we're obviously, time is precious. You're running a very busy and successful company. So just in our last few minutes, just perhaps share with us, if you would, what is the one piece of advice that you would give somebody who aspires to following in your footsteps and not only becoming self-employed, but perhaps expanding and taking on other associates? How would they do that? Because as you said at the beginning, sometimes the going gets pretty tough.
Yes, I would. I think the mistake I made, which is what I probably come from, is I aimed too high, which sounds a bit weird. But I was looking at really super experienced top-level coaches to join my team. And actually what I needed was really good coaches and really good mentors and really good trainers, but they didn't have to have a fantastic sparkly CV of, lots of big international corporates and whatnot. So from the point of view of going to look for associates, very much on the basis of who you get on with, who you can have a good conversation, completely trust, and who you would be very happy to put in if you had a client and you were, in some way, something terrible happens and you had to back out, that you would be happy for them to be in that place. So it's a very close relationship, and I think very, very clearly and very, very carefully before you dance off into the sunset with somebody as a coach, because it's a lot of responsibility.
That's a very good point, actually, because I'm quite often asked in our library, in the secure accredited members area, do I have a contract? Is there an associate contract that people can download as a template? And I think, like you, they're thinking, right, I want to find the very best, when really, people by people, it's have somebody that you enjoy being around, because that's the whole point of being self-employed and running your own company, is build your dream team.
Build a dream team, and then make sure that they do have, because it's very difficult if you take people on and they haven't got all the necessary due diligence stuff that you need, because you'll be asked for it. So it's important. It's worth doing. It's worth making sure that you've got the proper insurance and the ICO and all the other stuff. So that's quite important. But it should be fun. It should be fun. You should be working with people you like and you want to get on the phone, and it's fun, and you have a bit of a laugh with, and you bounce off each other. That's really important.
Yes. Okay. So I love listening to Desert Islanders. So I'm going to pinch their last question. You're on a desert island. What would be your luxury item, Isla?
Oh my goodness! Wow, what would be my luxury item? Probably a tango record, actually, or something where I could listen to tango, so I could just dance around the island, because dancing makes you feel happy. Dancing does something to you at a very, very basic level, and make me happy and keep me going.
Excellent. Okay, so just for people who don't have your details, where can they find you? What's your website address?
The website is www.smartcoachingtraining.co.uk, and we've got lots of nice colourful information up there, so yes, please do come and have a look. And all contact details are on it. Give us a call.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much for sharing a little bit about yourself and what you do. I look forward to speaking to you again in the future.
Thank you very much, then, Dawn. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.